Hello. So I'm back. It took a while. My graphics card took a shit in less than 3 months. So I'm gonna go more into depth of why and how that happened because it was just absolutely crazy. But as you can see, I've made leaps and bounds on my account. It sucks because in the process of trying to shuffle into a new computer for the last week and a half, I'm sure you guys can imagine that I pre-record stuff or I just like get a good drop and I'm like, oh, I can throw that in, and then talk about what I really want to behind it. All that's gone. I mean, I got 99s, as you can see, 99 prayer. I went crazy with bossing and gambling and got these. I mean, just the other night, I won like 400 mil and I couldn't even put that on video. Yeah, it really kind of sucks because I got to a finish line with the account and I was going to make a mega episode, and now I can't. So I'm going to be starting fresh, and one of the big ways I want to start fresh is with getting a 99. But I wanted to do a live commentary and I guess just get you all adjusted. Almost 99 herb lore. Probably going to get that with this weekend. I'm sure that's not too far off or a very hard thing to accomplish. What I'm really looking forward to is max combat. You can see summonings right there on the cusp. Strength and attack. I've got enough combat training dummies to last me for a very long time. I've also been experimenting more with Night Hills, which has been fun. How many combat? Yeah, 129. I should be able to make the cut. But hopefully you'll be able to see some more PVM content. I actually was able to solo next, and makes me big sad I didn't get it. So you guys can see some of the stuff that I lost in the clips really quick. Got a Torva play body, literally the most valuable drop there, and yeah. Of course, loaded up on Kree, we're at 1200 now, and as you can see, I've maintained a pretty steady stream of drops there. Still haven't gotten the pet though, so that's to be looked for. And Vindicta and Gorvik, 599 kills. I've gotten a lot of stuff there, and yeah, a lot of that's not on video. So that being said, hopefully I'll be able to start and capture at least these few 99s, get that in, and yeah, hopefully we'll get some good drops in this episode. See you in a sec. So what you're going to see is a hodgepodge of clips, just a bunch of different stuff that I ended up doing after I got my computer back. I didn't feel like live commentating them at all. I was so salty after I lost my computer. Yeah, it was just not a good time. But I ended up getting 99 summoning, which was really exciting. Ended up hitting up Araxi. And I've been having a lot of fun bossing and trying to exploit the most I can out of Legacy. And going forward, with this being my first video in a while, and also I'm kind of switching things. Like I was, grinding out stuff like Araxi for a spider leg drop and all that, and that's great. But I really want to see how much I can push the mechanics of the game in more way than one, and with Legacy, I think it's necessary. The more I went to places like Elite Dungeons or Nex or whatever else, the more I realized that every hit is extremely precious. Everything you do, every little movement, every, eat is something that'll cost you 20 seconds and a kill, something I didn't think about previously. So it was really cool to see that. Now, I went staking for a little bit. I had a lot more clips of that as well, but sadly that's lost in the mix. So I got a couple. I had 2 more 50 mil bets past this, and I ended up winning all 4 and just getting terrified of that good luck and bouncing anyway. So that was short-lived, but it was definitely a nice infusion of cash during double XP weekend. Yeah, you can see my timer in the top, and this I think was Friday or Thursday, right before double XP weekend ended, so I did not have a lot of time to really do anything, and I wanted to make sure money wasn't one of those hurdles that I had to overcome. I started training inventions, started training melee stats, because that was something I was sorely behind in. for a very long time, and slowly got better, slowly realized the things that I needed to do to be better at Legacy. One of the biggest things is perking Ascensions. I didn't think about how important Ascensions would be because I had tested the Blightbound crossbows for Legacy. They were terrible. If I had the clip, I'd show you. I mean, they would take my Araxi kills from like 3.5, 4 minutes all the way up to like 7 or 8 minutes a kill. And that was with the Criminal Bolts, Enchanted Diamond when it was necessary in Ruby as well. And it just wasn't good. Like, I know me saying that, a lot of people won't believe me, but like in Legacy, it's different. If you're not standing still for every second, you lose massive amounts of DPS. And for me, an SGB hit, a single one, is 850, which is 8,500. So those are very valuable. But I found them really good for next. I also ended up going to some of the other bosses like Vindicta and got a lucky drop that was kind of nice. But next was the big thing I was focusing on. Elite dungeons were cool, I could do them. Ambassador was possible, I could stun him with a Nihil. I figured this out, their special ability does it. But next was something I wanted to get really good at because I found that my solos were very expensive, and adding Ascensions to that really, really helped up. Not only speed my kills, but keep consistent damage going downhill for stuff like Blood Phase and Zeros Phase, where it has healing mechanics. I was actually able to really overpower it. And I say really overpower it, like really overpower it. But you'll see good old Tom Hardy die here. I ended up soloing the last Elite Dungeons 1 boss myself. It's not hard. Once you get past the first little bit of mechanics, it's a pretty easy boss to take down, and I found that ED3 poses the real threat to me, and that's really because of the stun that I have to do to the black hole. Now, I can still Sign of Life and, kill it that way, but that's not reliable. And I really don't want to rely on that, if a team's with me or something, just to say, hey, let's all pop our Sign of Life. It's not good. So I'm hoping that the Nihil stun method works pretty well, and I'm hoping I'll be able to actually get some solo or duo or trio ambassador kills in the future. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to try out more, but until then, I'm gonna keep going at Araxi. She's just so good. So good for regular money. You get onyxes, you get Hydrix stuff randomly, herbs, name it. And I mean, I have gotten like very, very, very lucky on her rare drops, but even without the rare drops, I mean, I've only sold 1 spider leg and 1 fang, so I would say that's 380 mil is what I've actually reaped out of this boss. But I keep getting these spider leg pieces. Ended up being, I think 3 of the bottom, 2 of the top, and 0 of the middle. So that does nothing for me, and I could go dry for a very, very long time. But I think in 100 kills, I've landed 8 spider leg pieces, a fang, and a web, which is incredibly hard to do. Spider leg pieces are 1 in 40. Fang, for me using range, would have been 1 in 280, I want to say. Something like that. It's up there. And then web would have been half that. So, yeah, I've been very lucky here, very fortunate. And I really enjoyed my time. And I keep grinding other bosses like Kriaro when I can, but the problem with stuff like that is it's like doing a Slayer task. It's not bad by any means, but it's certainly not training you to handle anything bigger or better, like next. Yeah. Next, I want to be able to clap on my own. I want to be able to get sub 4 minute kills in Legacy on my own if I possibly can, but for now, duos seem to be the way. I don't know. They're profit enough. If you didn't know, I think I said this in a previous video, but I said it wrong. I believe it's 1 in 23 for the drop rate. And the average drop's like 20 mil or something like that. It's something like that, but it's crazy. It's like literally every kill is worth 1.2 or 1.3 mil. That's what I remember. And that's awesome. And I believe that that's true. I mean, with the Torval plate body I've gotten so far, like, I'm actually way over, because I got literally the most expensive thing that outweighs that scale. But there were the 99s that I got. I was too busy ranting. Yeah, and then I started working on stuff like armor spikes. And armor spikes have been really helpful for God Wars Dungeon 2, whatever I'm using melee at, to just get some extra damage. And that's all I'm trying to do, is just inch up my damage just a little bit. So I started selling stuff for the last thing that I could see besides an Eldritch crossbow that I need to obtain. And that's the Grimoire. And there's cheese. I figured out a way to really abuse this little book, and I'll be making a video on that soon. But yeah, until then, I'm just going to be working away, and I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you hanging in there, even though I haven't uploaded in a while. Hopefully that'll be more consistent, one day. But yeah, I'll see you.